Time is now 6 p.m. I call this meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District Number 2 to order. Certified there is a quorum present. Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Thornton, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Domney, and myself. This time, I'd ask everybody to make sure that they silence their electronic devices or turn them down, please. And we'll move on to item 2, which is prayer and pledge of allegiance, which I ask Commissioner Domney to please do.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, thanking you for all the many blessings that you've given us, Lord. Each and every day we wake up to the beautiful day that you provide for us, Lord. You keep us all safe and you provide for all of us. And we praise and thank you for all that you do, Lord. Pray that you be with us this evening as we go through this meeting, that you would lead us and guide us, and that you be with each and every one of us as we go through our duties and throughout the days of the week, Lord. We ask all these things in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. Item 3 is recognition of guests and special presentations. I don't think we have any. So at this time we'll move on to item 4, public comment. Has anybody signed up for public comment? Okay. Since we haven't received any, we'll move right on to item number 5, which is our consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action related to the payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll, request for reimbursement, request for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. Under 5.1 would be the ratification of things we've already approved. We just need to ratify the payment.
Make the motion that we would approve the payments, ratification of payments under 5.1 in the amount of $247,343.01.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney that we ratify the payments in the amount of $247,343.01. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. 5.2 will be payment of bills in the amount of $1,081,660.03.
Make a motion that we would approve the payment of our bills under 5.2 in the amount of $1,081,660.03.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. 5.3 will be our district credit card payment.
Make a motion we approve our credit card payments under 5.3 in the amount of $24,265.14.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney to pay the district credit card in the amount of $24,265.14. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. 5.4 is our contract payments in the amount of $82,929.32.
Make a motion that we approve 5.4 in the amount of $82,929.32.
Have a motion by Commissioner Arnold. We pay our contract payments in the amount of $82,929.32. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Thornton. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. and that motion carries unanimously. Under 5.5, urgent purchases, there were none. 5.6, emergency purchases, there were none. And under 5.7 will be our Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Verizon wireless payments, which that's just for information only. There's no action to be taken on those. And that amount is $105,208 and $209.09, I believe. My additions right. Anyway. Item 6, approval of the minutes. Receive, discuss, and take any action relating to the following reports. Board of Commissioners, March 23rd, 2026 minutes, and anyway, I would,
Okay, so yeah, I've reviewed each one of those as submitted and have made corrections, and those corrections are reflected in those submitted for the board approval. As such, I'll make the motion, we approve our minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting on March 23rd, 2026, and the special call meeting of April the 13th, 2026.
okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the board minutes of the March 23rd regular meeting under 6.1, and then a motion to approve the special call meeting minutes of April 13th. I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Item 7, Executive Director.
So as usual, you have the written report, and I will touch upon a few highlights in that report. During the week of April 6th, we had the ESCI, the consultants here, visiting us for the entirety of the week, and I hope each of the commissioners that got to meet with them enjoyed the meeting, and you got to say what you wanted to say to them in private. And the same courtesy was extended to all the VFD chiefs, and I hope you found that worthwhile. And myself and operations also spent a lot of time with them while they were here, and our understanding now is they are going back to their home offices and going to spend a couple of months, put everything together in 2 large documents. It's going to be back and forth a few times, and hopefully within 2 months or thereabouts, they will present the final document and we will review it with the board. And the goal is to have this document reviewed in time for the budget, so that can inform us when we present the next budget to the board. The original goal had been to include the purchase request for the tenders that operations have been working on. It has been delayed a little bit because we're still waiting for firm information on the warranty period and the delivery schedule, and we didn't want to bring it to board and just be wishy-washy about those details. It's a large purchase, we want to have all the facts done. So right now we are looking at either the next board meeting, or even potentially we may reach out and see if we can schedule a special board meeting to speed that thing up a little bit. The finances, I'll touch on sales tax first. As you know, in the budget we had been quite conservative. Approximately a 1.8 decrease compared to the actuals last year was the budget. We're tracking a little bit worse than that right this second, but all our plans are saying that by the time we come to the end of the year, we will have reached up. So we're going to be very close to what the budget actually has, what we projected in the budget for sales tax, barring any unforeseen events in the economy. On operating performance, we have taken a renewed effort to control overtime, and again, reviewing the numbers back and forth and digging deeper into it, it still looks like we're going to be okay at the end of the year when we take into account the savings in regular versus the overage in the overtime, but the margin of safety is getting thinner and thinner on that, so that's why we're putting extra effort into controlling the overtime yet again, especially now when we are so close to staffing up Jamestown as well, which is gonna put even more pressure on staffing levels. The budget development is in full swing. Larry, Amy, and Keith, they are leading this project, and we started much earlier than we usually do, and it's very, very good structure to how we actually proceed. It's milestones and checkpoints, and they're really holding all of us accountable in sticking to the timeline. So I think we're gonna have a good final process, and of course we're gonna do the same thing we did last year with Saturday workshops, unfortunately, with the board. 2 of those are scheduled, so we'll come back with firm dates and make sure everybody has it on their calendar when that time comes. So that's all I wanted to highlight, and I'm available for any questions.
Anybody have it? Okay. Thank you. Item 8, financial reports. Keith?
7.2, you meant, right?
Is it 7.1? I'm sorry, 7.2, investment portfolio, I'm sorry.
So this happens every quarter, and you have the investment report attached together with the snapshots of the 2 funds that we invest the money in. Board Treasurer Domini and myself, we have reviewed the report, and we are in agreement with the numbers. And right now, it looks like we have about 28 million invested, and that is spread over rainy day funds, separate funds for real estate, separate funds for apparatus, and so forth. So it's ticking away, earning us money every month. So we're probably going to come in a little bit above budget on the investment income.
But the fund accounts themselves are in line with the targets that we've set for ourselves, and so we're really just talking about the positive side of it's gonna be on the interest earned.
Correct,
Right.
correct, yes.
And with those accounts, it makes sure we don't have to go borrow money to do anything.
Absolutely. Self-funded.
Yeah,
Yeah. And not lose any money too.
not losing it, yeah, that's for sure. All right, is that all we got on that one, Eric?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we're on a financial report. Keith, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners. I wanted to look at the budget to actual comparison. Should be in your information. So we are, at March 31st, we're 50% into the year. We're at the halfway mark. Ad valorem tax, we have recorded approximately 90% of all the tax, and the remaining 10% we do anticipate to trickle in through the remainder of the year. As Eric mentioned, sales tax is tracking closely to what was budgeted. Personnel costs, we are carefully scrutinizing, as Eric mentioned. Overall, there's really no surprises so far this year. Now, as part of the 2027 budget process, we did change some of the account names and then move them around within the categories. And so, for example, dispatch was under the chief's operating area. Now it's under the chief's contracted services area. They're for 2027, but they reflect here. Once you make those changes, they automatically populate through these reports. So if anyone had any questions about potentially things looking a little bit different, that's probably the reason why. Again, it's the changes for the 2027 budgets. But again,
So Keith, I'm sorry, whenever it repopulates the category, but it also, does it repopulate the actual funds that were allocated for this fiscal year as well?
it just, moves it in a different,
It moves everything,
Yeah,
not
it
not just a new title that we're looking at, everything moves with it.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the budget is still the originally approved budget. We just renamed some things and moved them within the different buckets.
So the budget and the expenditures move with it.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
indeed.
Thank you.
But again, just compared to last year at this time, we are right at 99% as far as excluding personnel. We're right at 99% of our expenditures compared to last year at this exact time. So again, no surprises. And if anyone has any questions, I'm available to answer them.
I say that it's attributable to y'all's budgeting and tracking, the whole process that you go through now, brings a lot of predictability to where we're at now, right? Each and every, I mean, there's no new expenses, no unexpected expenses, we've accounted for everything, and so it allows us to track really close to plan all the way through, which,
Right.
thanks to everybody that participates and makes that happen, because I know it's not me. Y'all do all the work, appreciate it.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Keith or any comments? Okay. All right. Item 9, the Director of Human Resources report, and I think Eric's gonna give that since Sherry's not here tonight, so.
So, there have been a few promotions, as you can see in the report. John Moore and Joseph Lamotte for captains, Bill Birdwell and David Harris for lieutenants, and Joseph Lewis, Matthew Aiken, and Colton Winters for drivers. And I didn't mean to steal your thunder, I'll let you do the rest there, so. We also have in today's meeting a proposal to make a few edits to the vacation and sick leave policies for operations. I'll come to that in a second here. And that's really all I have for Sheriff's Human Resources report. You have access to the written one too, so.
Okay. Any questions on 9.1? Okay. 9.2, workforce injuries.
Yep, there are two. One was an ankle inversion, and that person is back to full duty as of March 20th. And a thumb laceration, and he will be on temporary work restrictions and assumed to be back around May 8th. So that's all there is on the workforce.
All right, 9.3. It says, discuss and take any action on revising operations, vacation, and sick leave policies, and the attached policy, but I don't see one on there.
Then at the very bottom of the page,
Mine doesn't have it.
a link.
Under 9.3.
Yep.
I got one.
You got one? I don't have one on mine.
I think it's also in here, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can,
Yeah, that's all.
So there's
there's
a
a
summary.
good summary. You see the good summary?
And then I have a 3-page attachment.
Yep.
as well.
Oh, okay. I see. It's on down. All right. My bad.
No worries. So the summary I can review with you here now, and then if need be, we can discuss the more detail. The attached document is just going into more detail. So basically what we are proposing is that we increase the maximum carryover for operations personnel on the vacation from 195 hours to 480 hours. And we allow the accrual to happen during the year. There is no intra-year stop to the accrual. The stop only happens at the end of the year every year. That's when you actually measure to see whether they are above or below what they are allowed to accrue. In order to get a week of payout on the vacation, if there is any kind of separation for the vacation, the person would have to give the district 2 weeks notice in order to get the payout. Right now, there is no notice requirement. So the thought behind this is that it will, first of all, it will bring it into balance from an equity perspective with what administration personnel has. And also to reduce the pressure on personnel when they bump up into this limit in the middle of a year, and they know unless I take vacation now, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna forfeit my approval. So of course they're gonna take off. And that puts pressure on staffing levels and has a tendency to increase the overtime. So the part of the plan here, apart from the equity reason, is to reduce a little bit pressure on overtime. We hope that this will help. And Mr. Domine and myself, if you recall last meeting, had many questions about how this could impact. And it's all guesses because we can't predict with certainty what the behavior is going to be from the firefighters. But in all likelihood, we will control overtime a little bit better. It'll be reduced. And also what will happen is that the balance that we build up on the balance sheet, which is liabilities for accrued vacation not used, will probably increase too over a few years. But they still have earned it, so sooner or later we'll have to pay that too. But the most urgent reason was to equity reasons and for overtime control. So that is the biggest part of number one. Then on the sick leave, we are proposing to implement a 50% payout of unused sick leave upon voluntary separation. Right now, they get 100% payout on accrued sick leave, regardless of reason and no requirements for notice, for 2-week notice. So we propose to change that to a 50% payout if the termination is voluntary and if they give 2 weeks notice. Again, that is better than what the administration personnel has, but we didn't think it would be appropriate at this time to bring it all the way down to what the administration has. So for example, the administration, they get 0 payout on vacation. Pardon me, on the sick leave. So we think this is a good compromise. In addition to this, which is not seen in the summary, but due to requests from a couple of the commissioners in the document attached, you will see that there is also a possibility for a, I think, what did we call it? We called it a vacation sellback policy option. So if that is something that the board wishes us to also implement, we have the proposal for everybody to read there. So that is really, what we are proposing right now is just the vacation and the sick leave. That is what is proposed by staff. But we'll leave the table open to a commissioner to also insert the vacation sellback option. So that's all I have to say. I'll wait for the board.
I personally would like to just see us just make the 2 changes, not do the sellback at this point in time. If we want to look at that again, that's just my preference at this time. So
I would go with that as long as it will be something that we're gonna look at quickly, because I can only see it benefiting the district. Because if you buy back that vacation, then that's, what, half a week, we're not gonna be paying somebody. Whereas, you know, if you give them vacation, you have to hire somebody and pay them time and a half. Our potential savings is there.
Okay, but it's sick leave. If they're going to take off sick, then we gotta fill them.
We're trying to you have to try to fill that position at most times.
So how is selling sick leave back gonna change?
No, it's vacation.
It's vacation.
It's vacation time.
It's vacation.
It's not sick leave.
Vacation
I'm
sellback
sorry,
policy.
Yeah.
Vacation sellback. I was still stuck on the prior sick leave
Yeah,
conversation.
I'm more talking about the vacation.
Right, yeah.
If y'all wanna kick that down the road, we can, but I think we need to start thinking about it for the budget process, so that they can budget for it.
And again, I guess in this particular case, and sorry I was off on the wrong place, just understanding what it really does mean. How does it benefit us or not? So, are we talking about buying back at 100%,
The vacation, yes.
the vacation?
Yes. proposal in the documents up to 120 hours per calendar year. And I guess what we could say is that the assumptions that we reviewed when it came to increasing the accrual bank that they can get every year, and the thoughts there that that was going to reduce over time, the same argument could be made for the vacation sellback too, because when they reach the new limit, then they either take vacation, right, and potentially cause overtime, or they sell some vacation back to the district.
It does sell the liabilities off the books,
Yeah.
is what's happening.
So,
Previous liabilities.
but again, how people will react, that is, I cannot make a determination.
And the sellback, it can either be at 100%, there are some places that do 75%, some places do 50%. So, it would be,
One other
But
benefit
the-
that you would have is that you could potentially sell the liability at a cheaper rate, because if they carry that liability through promotions and COLAs, you're increasing your payout. So, might encourage them to sell it back to the district
Earned
early.
it at a lower rate,
mhm.
potentially used it or sold it at a higher rate.
Well, I'm looking at it as a selling point for job retention. I think it's be a good benefit for them to have.
Just so everybody knows too, the vacation sellback policy option, the way it's written right now, would apply to both populations, the operations populations and the administration population. To be clear.
That should cover everybody.
Is the sick leave policy the only one that we're not making equitable based on this recommendation
Yes.
between the two?
Yes.
So why wouldn't we just take the opportunity to do that all at the same time? If we're taking a all equitable approach.
Well, there's a lot of places that when you leave, your sick time's not paid out because they consider that a benefit. So when you are sick, you get paid instead of missing a paycheck, instead of paying you out when you leave. You know, I'll give you an example. When I retired, I had 800 hours. It was left
Right.
of sick time. Now, they paid me for my vacation, but my sick days.
Yeah, but sick time's a benefit for
Yeah,
sick, not for
not for,
Right.
yeah.
other gain.
I've got a question. If we got a catastrophic injury to one of our employees,
Mhm.
I know that they've done this at some of the schools I've dealt with. They allow other employees to gift them.
We allow that.
Okay, all right, I want to make sure that that's.
To move some of their sick
And our
time.
policy also allows for extenuating circumstances as well, right? That there's, if I recall correctly, there were some instances where there were an extended period that it was up to our discretion as to how we manage that over time, or am I off
You mean
base?
the 2 weeks notice and all that?
No, as far as the extended period of time off due to an injury and illness.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't
We've
think so.
donated time, so
So
there's
maybe
quite a bit of
that's
that
what
that has been done. But I don't think so.
So, again, I guess I'll propose that we go with the two and then hold the other one, and let's have a little bit more detailed discussion about the whole thing or all the way around, how we think that
We'll try to
it should work.
back up there in the budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, do it,
okay.
do it
All
pretty
right,
quick.
well, I'll entertain a motion.
Let me see here. So, I make the motion that we would adopt the vacation leave policy and the sick leave policy as presented under 9.3, under Operation Proposed Paid Time Off Policy 3/4/16/26.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Donnie, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? I'll be like Mac, I think we just need to talk about that during the next budget cycle on the vacation payback and decide how we wanna do it.
Yeah.
We'll have a better grasp on it. Okay, all right, so I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
No.
Okay. And that motion carries 4-1.
Who was the name?
Scotty.
Scotty, okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right. Item 10, community outreach.
Good evening. So I want to start out by saying that last month we had an incredibly busy month running calls. And so if you've watched our numbers, we kind of teeter between 800 and 900 calls. We went more than 1,000 calls last month. In addition to that, we had several PR events. One of the things that we have just attended the last several years is the Junior League's Touch a Truck, which has really been a huge hit. And that is only moving into the month of May, where we have an event, if not multiple, almost every single week. I think we have 1 week where we don't have PR events. So our crews are going to be busy out in the community with all of our schools as they're ending their end of the year. We've got some churches who are doing summer bashes. We have had a lot of first responder appreciations here going on lately, especially in the ARP community. So we had crews volunteers who were there Friday for first responder luncheon appreciation, a heroes night with softball. So they've really been just all over the county, not only responding, but being involved. And then in addition to that, we're still working on the website and just getting that cleaned up, getting our information out there. I had a fun road trip across the county last week, getting pictures of all of our stations. So that was a good day. And so those are up on the website. So we're just slowly working through that again with the department heads, but then also introducing those new projects. So one thing will be CPR. We're hoping to get that on the website. We were able to put a team together that performed the physical agility test out at the new training field. And so that when we have upcoming hiring classes, they can get on our website and really see what does it mean to be a Smith County first responder, be preparing for that when they're coming in. So you have a whole video walking you through from a variety of different angles with different ranks, different body types, different ages, doing the physical agility test, and then just a layout of what all is required so that you can anticipate all of those things. And then hopefully we'll continue to move that forward with our new hire orientation so that upon being hired, you know what to anticipate coming into those 2 weeks. So just really moving forward a lot with the information that we can get out there as far as telling our story.
Anybody have any questions? Nikki? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Item 11, Deputy Executive Director's Report. Larry?
Good evening, Commissioners. Real quick, within Fleet, Carla and her team have made great improvements on their metrics. They're well underway in the installation of the CAD and the Knoxbox equipment. And tonight I have 4 people to introduce y'all to that are some new hires and some hires that we didn't get to just because they were so busy. But I'd like to introduce first Chris, our new Fleet PM Tech. Chris, will you stand up? Chris comes to us with lots of experience, both from City of Longview as well as SIDS Martin. Next up would be Kenton, our Master EBT, who just joined. All right. Kenton also comes to us with lots of experience and is a fully certified Master EBT and has been doing great work for us so far. And then next we have our husband and wife duo, Janet and Richard. Would y'all please stand? They are our transport techs, one of our sets of transport techs. They move lots of miles here in Smith County. On the facility side, the Jackson remodel project has started. We've already had on-site kickoffs with all the contractors and subcontractors, specifically talking about phasing and safety initiatives on site, with it still being a functional firehouse, egress routes, and those kind of things. Very excited to have Watson on board with us again. We were able to continue with our same superintendent that was on the job in Jamestown, so very familiar with him already. He's going to do great work for us. The modular is on site now at Jackson. That has turned out to be a very good build. I think it's going to be a good location for us. We have some small IT work that we need to do, and they just finished up painting. Floors are going in shortly, and as soon as floors and AC is done, we'll start moving the guys out of Jackson Heights into the modular so that they can start the demolition of that side of the station. Jamestown is pretty much complete at this point. I think it's going to come in under budget and just right on schedule. So we propose Saturday, May 30th as the day for the station dedication. We propose that to occur around that 10 a.m. time frame as well. Does anybody have any objections to that? Right. Yes,
Weekend after Memorial Day.
We're proposing to man it also at the
Correct.
same time.
yes,
It would
We
go,
don't wanna go up there and have anything unless we would man it.
yes,
that's it.
it would go live.
10 o'clock, yes, sir.
May 30th.
May 30th should be a Saturday. All right. Even with the large projects going on, facilities was able to achieve 100% SLA compliance for closure rate. So that's a huge accomplishment. And a big part of that, alongside Brandon, is Brian, our new facilities tech. So Brian, would you stand up? Lots of people to introduce today. So Brian's been hitting the ground running and has already made lots of improvements, and I expect those improvements to continue. Within logistics, Laura's improved the SLA compliance from around 50% when she got hired up to around 84%, and she will continue to reach to obtain that 90% target. Additionally, we just recently filled the part-time logs tech position as our part-time logs guy got hired on at UT Health. And so I'll introduce Justin at our next meeting. IT has completed the UPS project and is on target in all their metrics for the month of April. That's really an accomplishment for them as well. Last I looked, they were down to around 9 open tickets. So we're extremely happy with that at this point. We did have some downtime just recently over this weekend caused by a lightning strike at Station 51. I'll report back more details on that at next month's meeting. But we have fully recovered and no major equipment damage. So there's a couple of small pieces, but nothing major. As Eric mentioned earlier, the budget workshops, I've got some save the dates for you. We'll send these out, but I'll just tell them to you now. August 1st and August 8th, both of those are Saturdays. Those are the dates of the workshops. That'll be at 10 a.m. Those will be all-day meetings, just like last year. And then Monday, September 7th and September 14th will be the special called meetings that are required statutorily for the adoption of the budget and tax rate. And then we'll have our normal meetings in the midst of those.
I missed the 2nd August.
The 2nd August date is, yeah, 1st and the 8th. We will send those out. I just wanted to have you save the dates as best you can. We're still early on, and we just don't have a lot of room to change those because of all the statutory requirements, and you can't move meetings outside of the range, either more or less, so earlier or later. Other than that, unless you have any questions, that'll be the end of my report.
Thank you, Larry. All right, 11.2, discuss, consider, and take any action on the purchase of SCBA mask at the cost not to exceed $10,812.
Commissioners, this is a purchase for inventory as well as expected throughput for the next year or so on mask. We do expect some rate increases, so we do have a small contingency included in this cost. Just ask that you go ahead and approve this. This is a piece of safety equipment, PPE, that is issued at the individual level based on fit test results. So they are very specific masks in different sizes, and this is our highest. This is the most quantity that we have is in our medium mask.
I'll make the motion, we authorize purchase of 25 SCBA masks from Metro Fire in an amount not to exceed $10,812.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to authorize the purchase of 25 SCBA masks from Metro Fire in the amount not to exceed $10,812. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Item 12, Chief of Operations report. Chief Reeser.
Good evening, Commissioners. Just to dovetail off of some of the things that have already been said tonight, we did run 1,021 calls in the month of March. So that number is up just a slight tick. Also, just reporting on the CAD project and where we're at. Chief Smith has done an extensive amount of work with the vendor, with our partnering agencies within the county, including CAL FIRE, including Lindell, and trying to get with the sheriff's office, all of that collaborating, coming together. So we're really close to getting that in place. Our target go live is tracking along with fleet installations for the end of May, and we feel like we're on track to get there. Apparatus to come before you in short order, like Mr. Edstrom had indicated a moment ago, is to get the tenders that were also partially grant funded that are in the capital budget. There are 3 of those, and we've been working collaboratively with the VFD chiefs. We've got a specification that's mostly done, and we're trying to tidy up a couple of loose ends. We've done an initial evaluation. We think that we're close, although some of the chassis are a little bit in question. We're trying to find out both the delivery times and warranties on the M114 chassis, which is a Freightliner, versus the M112 chassis, which is also Freightliner. But there's some uncertainties in the market that we're trying to get clarification from all the potential vendors on that. Hope to have that very soon, and as indicated, the potential to either come before you in a special call if you had a desire to do so, or bring it back before you in May. We did have a short open house for the training facility. Commissioner Wilson was in attendance with us, and it was short-lived. That day we had strong storms that broke out almost within about 10 minutes of us getting started. So we were able to do a quick walkthrough and a demonstration of the physical agility test run through, and then we scrambled for cover because we had hail in Smith County, as well as high winds and storms and everything in between. So, you know, we are able to deliver some really exceptional training with that facility at this point. Everything from search to ventilation techniques, fire control techniques, standpipe. You know, where you're talking about connections that are in the stairwell for the upper floors, advancing hose lines. I mean, just a number of things that we're able to really do some good simulations there. And so I'm really proud of that work, and proud of the collaboration to get that on the ground for all of the service delivery within Smith County.
It's a well-built structure too. It serves all of its purposes.
Thank you, sir. All right, you know, several other things that are in my report. I did indicate that we didn't have a TIFMAS deployment when I typed this. We did not. We've been activated and are working within the Amarillo region at this moment under higher fire danger within that location. I don't think that one's going to last very long. The storms are pushing through, and obviously Texas is planning to be quite wet over the next several weeks. I would point out within the operations report again, a new component of the operations report was the drone report that Chief Rath has been assisting us with, trying to just locate the number of times that we're flying on those incidents. I can tell you from firsthand, it is absolutely priceless information in real time that comes on the emergency incident, helping us making good, sound decision-making models within the incident. So we very much appreciate that, and so if you would pay particular attention to that March 2026 report for the drone. In addition to that, all the normal reports are in there, activity levels, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Anybody have any questions for Chief Regan?
Thank you.
Okay. Item 12.2, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on combined MOU with Texas Division of Emergency Management participation in the Texas Emergency Management Assistance Teams. Adopt the MOU as presented and authorize Board President to sign all related documents.
Commissioners, we've been asked by Texas Department of Emergency Management, TDEM, to walk this through the approval process. What they've done at the state level is consolidated all of the MOUs under similar language trying to get consistency across the board. And so all the related disciplines, whether it's a TIFMAS, or an emergency management activation, or whether it's a Texas Task Force activation, any of those are operating under the same MOUs now. And we've been asked to come back before our elected officials and get those signed. It has been reviewed by Mr. Hardy's office, and it's available for your consideration.
I mean, we've had a legal review, which I'm thankful for, but as far as operational, is there anything that would change the way that we would engage?
Not at all. We're not bound to anything new. We're not required to do anything new, like where you're committing our resources in a different way. Not at all.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the MOU under 12.2 as presented. Authorize Board President Johnny Brown to sign all related documents.
A motion by Commissioner Thornton. Can I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. You barely beat you, Matt. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. 12.3, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on MOU with Texas A&M Forest Service for the NWCG Wildland Firefighter Standard Red Card for the TIFMAS program.
Yeah, having been around TIFMAS since its inception, there's been a lot of work to get TIFMAS up to speed in terms of qualifications at all levels, and that included, the task books that are reviewed and authorized in each of the related positions. This gets the consistency across the board in terms of the training under the National Wildfire Coordinating Group, NWCG, as well as the fitness level required at the federal level. So any of the federal deployments have required the red card for, as far back as way before me. And so the state has been working to get there, and this is that next push to get the consistency amongst the state level response and the federal. And that's where the red carding comes in.
Is that additional certifications for us?
No, it's the same certifications that we have. What it is mandating that we do the fitness test, the PAC test. The arduous PAC test is required to get that red card certification. So that's really the only thing that it's saying is that, not only do you have to have the same requirements that we've been doing, task books, certifications, all the above, but now making that you have the PAC test involved.
Okay,
Yep, and we've actually already been doing that. So this is just a continuation of that, and they're actually now enforcing.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion on 12.3.
I'll make a motion under 12.3 to adopt the red card MOU with the Texas A&M Forest Service as presented, and authorize Board President Johnny Brown to sign all related documents.
A motion by Commissioner Thornton. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. 12.4, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action. The addition of 3 full-time operations relief hire personnel. Authorize staff to hire 3 additional firefighters, supporting 1 new 24/7, 365 position to support staffing stability and operational readiness, with the implementation to occur as soon as practical. Further authorize staff to complete a budget amendment to reflect the changes in total personnel costs for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Commissioners, I know you've had time to review the package and the proposal. 3 years ago, I stood before you, or came before you, and talked about that buffer staffing and how important that was. And we had our ebb and flows with that over the last three years or so for sure. Last year in April, when we modified and the 12-hour staffing went away, one of the techniques there was to, we reduced some buffer staffing in that. We went down from 5 to 4. The calculations based on the growth of the district, when you go back in and run all the numbers, show that we really, to be fully staffed, need to be at 7. What we're asking you tonight is to take us back to 5 with the 3 additional firefighters as buffer staff. Just to be clear, that doesn't increase our minimum numbers. That doesn't increase what we're staffing, nor what we would be liable to hire back for. What it does is give us that buffer staff that, if you look at the numbers that we've looked at closely within the overtime staffing, it would buffer off a good chunk of that in that. Additionally, we're looking at other strategies that we can implement in terms of vacation picks, in terms of our minimum numbers, and how to go about buffering off as much overtime as possible.
I know that with the different changes that you're making, it's going to be somewhat difficult to provide a true analysis of how this really benefits us, but I will ask that you try.
Yes, sir.
So just, I mean, like I said, I recognize this is what we talked about back last year, and we've gone through this process and kind of been just always in a state of change.
Right.
And so I realize that we're still there, but to the extent that we can capture any information, any data that shows us that the decisions we're making are yielding the benefits that we're looking for.
Correct.
To the extent that we can. Just, I'd appreciate it.
How soon will these guys be hired? I don't
So-
want to prove it, and it takes us 6 months to hire these 3.
Yeah, that point's well taken. We have a closing on the recruitment cycle that's out right this moment. That closes on Friday. Our plan is to announce the testing dates immediately there following. So could we do that in the next 35 to 45 days? 30 to 45 days is a realistic number.
I got a question. How quickly are we, when we have somebody leave, how quickly are we hiring back in? Are we waiting until we get 4 or 5 openings before we hire, or are we getting them as soon as we get it open?
So most recently, we've been hiring off the old list. That list was October's list. And there were about 6 or 7 that were left on the list. A couple that had already taken jobs elsewhere, but we brought those back in for a second interview, if you will. And 4 of those are online as we speak. They're in the field doing field training. So we've been hiring some singles, if you will, in that regard.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to authorize staff to hire 3 additional firefighters supporting the 1D 24/7, 365 positions, support staffing stability and operational readiness. Implementation to occur as soon as practical. And further authorize staff to complete a budget amendment to reflect the changes in total cost for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. To have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion?
I will say that the people at the open house are gonna be amazed what they have up there. All our staff and everyone involved in getting that prepared has done an excellent, wonderful job up there on all of it from day one. It's beautiful, and those people should be more than excited to get that in there.
All right. Any other? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Item 13, discuss, consider, taking necessary action on fire chiefs presenting and discussing issues with the board for future action. Art.
Howdy. First, let me introduce myself. It's my first time in front of y'all. I'm usually at our meeting doing the training during the meeting. So, my name's Dennis Roach. I'm the Assistant Chief Training Officer out at ARP. And Chief Hickman couldn't be here tonight. He had a prior engagement, asked me to give y'all a few notes from him. The first thing, we had 100% active participation from our members for March, so we're proud of that. We also had one member finish the EMT program. He's getting ready to test for his national registry, so that'll hopefully we can report some positive news on that next meeting. We had another member that was hired on full-time with Jacksonville Fire, which is a good milestone for him. He's going to remain an active member at ARP, but we're excited for him in his future. We also participated, as she mentioned earlier, in the ARP High School Softball Heroes Night activity, which was a good time for us to be out with the community. So if y'all have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them or take them back.
Who got hired at Jacksonville?
Lane, yes, sir.
So you said you had 100% participation.
Yes, sir.
And your 100% of the active employees, you met the minimum criteria.
That is correct, sir.
Each month I look at the number of volunteer participants in I guess, incidents, and you're about half. Y'all respond about half of them. I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing here was not contradiction of what you're telling me.
No, sir, I'm sorry, they met the requirement, is what I meant.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bullard, Chief DeGant.
Hey, good afternoon. We've had 3 firefighters in the last week that have graduated from either the Kilgore or the TJC Fire Academy programs. We're moving through the process with logistics to get them fire gear issued. We're really excited to get those 3 members on board. With the upcoming transfers in the station of the ESD personnel and getting new lieutenants in our station, it's going to be a challenge, but we know that those personnel usually work hand in hand with our new candidates to get them up to speed, and we appreciate that partnership. It's phenomenal the amount of information that the ESD officers and employees are willing to share with the new firefighters that are coming on board as volunteers. We still have 1 member that is out on medical leave. We did have 3 members that did not meet the active status. For those 3 members, 2 of them, they are repeat offenders. We have put them on internal probation. We have assigned a mentor to them to ensure that this is a correctable behavior, and if it's not a correctable behavior, then we will move on with termination of them from our program. We did receive the firebox earlier this week. It is at Station 56. The trailer is anticipated to be delivered in the next 2 weeks. We're proceeding forward with the process to get the grant money back so that we can then invest it in a tow vehicle and the track loader. So we're playing that money game, moving it through. But we're hopeful that in the next 3 months, that new asset is going to be fully online and for use. We've gone through a couple of training applications so that we can get heavy equipment operators and some of our folks through the Wildland Fire 1. We understand that the training budget is tight. We do need to get some of our folks into those classes when they're available. And we're working with the training division to see that that training is available to us. Do you gentlemen have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Chapel Hill, Chief Peterson.
We've been busy out in Chapel Hill quite a bit, not just a lot of running calls, but our training. We've actually, I guess they picked up quite a bit more on training. We've been doing a lot on that. One was our wildland skills for SFFMA. We had our station, and we had quite a few from the county to get their wildland certification. Because that's one of the ones we had to get the skills in. So we did that. Was made 2 of ours already got the wildland now certification. We got 2 more that's got to finish up their online, and they'll be able to pick that up as well. So we have more done for the wildland. Also, we did a EVOC class here just the other day to help as for our support. You gotta have the EVOC. Since we got 3 instructors in my department, so we've been trying to keep that up to par, especially with new recruits coming in. So we've been staying up with that, plus Todd keeps up with our CPR class as well. That's another thing we have to have. So we're almost putting them every month, just to keep going on all that. Now, in the EVOC class, we had 6 members, new members come and go through that EVOC class. And also, we had the FRO class in our station here this last month. I had 22 firefighters in that class, so it had a good turnout to an EMS personnel come out to keep us up on their protocols. So we got our guys trained back up on that part of it as well. Also, we did try to work with the Park and Wildlife. We had that same day where they had the open house up there where that weather came in. It kind of messed up a lot of the tents up there, so we had to postpone that and been out there. As far as I know, they had not reset it, so I don't know if they are or not. But I did have my new truck out there, but I had a chance where I took it up and put it underneath one of the buildings before the hail came in. So I didn't want to get that damaged. Also, we got, we got a water day at Chapel Hill coming up on May 11th for the kids. They call us all the time to spray water for the kids that day. And then I have a lot of guys coming in. I got 5 members now. I just have to get through my interview board, and then they'll be put on as members of the department. And I also got 3 more new ones that just filled out the applications, so I'm applying on that. And then I also got one that just called me today, so I have him come in. So I have almost 10 people gonna try to hopefully get back in my department. So our recruiting is doing pretty good. Other than that, that's all I have, unless you got any questions.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Flint Gresham, Chief RF.
Good evening. So for Flint, we've got 3 new applicants over the past few days. They're applying through our website, which is great, but we haven't really been doing very much in the way of strictly recruiting, but they've been coming out, so we're getting some new people. We're going to be submitting those through. We've been working on the tender spec development along with the ESD and the other departments just to make sure that we all kind of had the same viewpoint on that, so we've been taking part of that. We do still have a PPE, a skid unit, and an equipment grant that we're working through. I need to meet with you about the skid unit at some point. So we've got some grants that we're also working through. We'll get on to the board agenda once we get a good solid plan on them. For the drone program, I have designed a logo for it. As you can see, it's on my truck, just trying to make it look a little bit more official and more thought through. During last month, or during what was that? I think it was last month that I did the pre-fire planning. The days are running together these days. So did some pre-fire planning, went out there. That was with FAA coordination because I was flying just outside of Pounds Field, so I had to get clearance from them. I did some mapping with that and then some also 3D modeling of the structure that was out there. So that's a new capability for us. I'm able to upload the video into there. It's able to take that video, run it through machine learning program, AI if you want, turn it into a 3D model so that I can then send that out to Chief Strickland or whoever needs to look at it and be able to see in a 3D model what that building looks like. Was able to identify some interesting aspects on the top of those buildings that you can't see from the ground, as an example. Also had a new integration with the CAD, so I can stream live video from the drone now. The command staff were able to access it, or at least I know that some of the senior staff were able to access it in real time, and have actually been able to see. I've responded out to structure fires. They've gone, what's going on with that fire, and they can just pull it up and see as I'm flying around what's happening with that fire. On that instance, there was no fire, but still, it's good to be able to see that and know if they need to get out there. And yeah, so continuing to just respond to the structure fires with the drone, wildland fires, any other kind of major incidents that a drone would be useful for. And beyond that, I don't think I really have anything else unless you've got any questions.
I'll ask you to put together a bit of a demonstration video.
Mhm.
I think it'd be of interest to the rest of us sitting here, and maybe public, to be able to see what capabilities you're producing for us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've got patches if anybody wants a patch too. You want a patch? Okay. I'll hand them out after the meeting, but I do have some patches.
And I think we have on, remember in we had some big wildland fires where we were able to use some of that footage and share it out on social media to really get an idea of, I mean, not a full demonstration, but to get a picture of how beneficial it is.
White House. Cindy,
Good evening.
how are you?
So we've had several trainings. We've had 2 new wildland certified, and then we've got one that completed their support. We've got another one that's still working on they were caught up in the whole FEMA shutdown, so they couldn't get their IS classes. That's part of the support certification. So they're still working on those. So we'll have one that's support certified now, a new one, and then we'll have another one within the next week or so when he can go complete those other classes. That was a delay, not on any fault of his own. We have one new structural certified, and then our training this month, we did go to do wildland training over at the Boulders. No fire, but they let us come through, and actually our new wildland members like pull the hose, off the trucks, kind of just give them a little more training than just in the parking lot. We had 15 rostering days for March. And then we had 8 that attended the UT EMS FRO training out at Chapel Hill. A lot of those were the new guys, so it gave them some more hands-on, even just as a support level. Have anything else for me? Thank you.
Winona, Chief Allen.
Good afternoon. I do believe this month here we have processed one new member. He's waiting on his CVO skills day. Then he'll have his support certification. That is, get him up and running. He is ready to go by all means. I do have 2 new applicants too that are still waiting on following through all the processes, getting through IT and everything. We did perform extrication training this last weekend. Got some new guys on some tools. Let them actually apply some of that knowledge that they have tried to learn and perfect those skills as well. I do still have 3 people in ISO classes to get those incident safety officer certifications. I've got one in EMT class, and he's waiting to hopefully get that national registry done, get that taken care of as well. So, you have anything for me?
All right. Item 14 will be a closed session. The board will convene in closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. And I would ask everybody to clear the room. At 7:08, we are in closed session. call regular session back to order at 7:33. There's no items to be voted on or no further action to be taken, so we'll move to item 16. Remarks by presiding officer and/or board members, information updates, items to be placed on future agendas, and future meeting dates, times, and/or locations. Only thing is the meeting in May falls on Memorial Day, so it will be moved to Tuesday after Memorial Day will be the next ESD meeting at 6 o'clock, and it will be here. And as far as that, that's all I have. You guys, appreciate all that you do. Keep doing the good job you're doing. Please stay safe. I know we had some firefighters that had some heat exhaustion today over in Gregg County on a house fire, so just be careful. All of you, be careful. That's the big thing. The goal of the day when you come to work is to go home. So, and take care of our citizens. That's it. Okay. Brent, you have anything? Charles?
No.
Scotty? Mac? Okay. We are adjourned at